Today is July the 22nd, 2016. The time being 2:34 p.m. It's Friday afternoon, or yes, Friday late afternoon. I'm here on the near north side of Chicago, what used to be called the Cabrini Green, where I grew up, in these little row houses here. These right here is closed, that you can see. I'm on Huxton Street, like maybe in the 800 block of Huxton Street. All these here is closed. I want to show you what these bushes you see right here. This is where we used to play baseball, in the back of this here. This new building with condominiums here, this is where those that grew up with me here, they know the nuns used to live in here. It was an old building for where the nuns used to live. If you look, they done run everybody out of Cabrini. They got one side open on Cambridge, and I'm gonna try to get to it. But you see, they study building. You know, they give people vouchers, and I'm just being factual. They give people vouchers to move from up out of these places and go to places where in a little while they can't afford to live. You see, when they was tearing down all the tall projects, used to have one on the corner up here. I'll show you in a little bit. But if you can see way down there at the end, where you see them buildings, way down where you see that crane up there, that's up there where we used to go to school, called Jenner, at the elementary school. But they got condominiums there where people, most people that came from over here, or really none, can't afford. But all these has been closed down. They supposed to have been rehabbing them. They did some rehabbing on them. But you see this fence around this, like when I was in Stateville Penitentiary. That fence is about almost 60 feet tall, close to it. And they got them locked out now. They don't want them to live here anymore, because they building all of these expensive buildings all over. Look at that. None of these buildings was up. Back in that area, we used to have what we call the chocolate family. I mean, the chocolate company, where they used to make slow pokes and milk duds and things like that. We used to go back there and play, but let me show you where it used to be just dirt, a baseball field. Look what they made out of it now. That they done moved all the people that they wanted us to live in the projects back then. And I don't want any white people or any black people, anybody that's living really, really good, to think that I'm trying to talk about people that got money. You can do what you want to do with your money. But when we was living over here, they didn't want nothing like this here. They didn't even want to come over. But you see that building on the side of it? That used to be an old building for the nuns. But this used to be our baseball field. If you see right over here, this is what we used to call Huxton Playground when I was coming up. This is the park that we used to play in when those of us that lived in these row houses here. We played in Huxton Playground. Right in that building where you see, let me see, would that be it? Yeah, they had a Catholic church called St. Donovat's. And I believe they tore it down. Now, look what they building up. They don't even want the church. And St. Donovat's is where the Black Panthers used to feed us in the basement. In the basement, they used to feed us breakfast. The Black Panthers did. But you see what's going over here now. They don't want the Black Panthers or no other type of Panthers. Anybody that's going to take care of the misfortunate of those that don't have much. And my bottom line is just to say, it's sad that we study killing up each other, black folks, Spanish folks. We killing up each other. But look, the Robert Taylor projects, they tore down. The Henry Hornets, all of them. I'm gonna try to get as close as I can. Cause see, down this here hill, where you see that dirt pile at, I don't know if you hardly see it, because I can't even hardly see it. But right around that corner there, I'm gonna see if I can focus on that sign there. It should say Cleveland. The words ain't even gone off of it. But right around that corner there, that's why I grew up in the late 1950s and to the probably the early 70s, and then we moved to 624 West Division, the white projects. All the way down at the end of that hill, that's Cambridge. That one side that you see where you can see somebody walking, that's the only side of this place is open up. That's what they think of certain people of color. Look at all them buildings down there. All of them used to be projects. All this was Cabrini Green, y'all. Tall projects used to be there. Tall projects used to be here. And I'm going to go down a little bit now. That there are some people benefiting. And I know people ain't going to like it. But you know what? I don't care what they don't like. I'm trying to awaken my brothers and sisters to stop killing themselves. Stop this black on black violence. Because pretty soon, we won't have nothing. Nothing at all. That building there used to be, I don't know if it still is, it used to be Montgomery Wards. One of the newer Montgomery Wards. And if you look, all of this here is being built now. But you remember what this used to be? It used to be Cabrini Green. Not no more. All these cars here you see, these ain't no, most of them ain't residents over there. These is people, they park here. Now they ticket most blacks that's on the block of Cabrini Green that's still open. All this here is still, it's considered green, but it's a fence if you can't hardly see it. But it's closed. It had been closed for years. Close up on where the nuns used to live. They didn't have them living nowhere near this here. Let's get a close up on the property if we can see that sign. Hale's property manager. He gave Cabrini Green Hale, but that's H-A-I-L. Now this building here used to be what they call 412 West Chicago Avenue. It was a project, housing project. But let me tell you who this belongs to now. Jesse White, the Illinois Secretary of State. His tumblers, I was telling him about him sending his tumblers down there in the prejudiced southeast Missouri in Charleston, Missouri, letting Sherry Maxwell from the Lincoln University bring his tumblers down there when they discriminate against blacks. They locking me up for doing what I'm doing now, videoing. But this is what Jesse White has his build. This is his building now. You would think, well, I ain't gonna even say it, look like, it might be weed. I mean, not weed, but wheat. Because down south, that's what it looked like. But this is his building. He got some people working for him. You know, I done tried to get him and a lot of these other politicians down here. I got to keep it real. Walter Barnett, I grew up with all of them, but I can't get no help down south. Maybe if I get shot and killed, God forbid it. But this is all the way around the building, y'all. This is the Secretary of State, Jesse White. This is his building. They have all type of programs in that. This is gonna be the only thing. See, all the blacks that grew up here, they can't come back to these row houses because they don't want them here. You would think with all that money they paid to build this building, it wouldn't look like this here in the front. But they would have it in this area because there's certain blacks that's still living over here. Look at all these buildings, y'all, that they done built. Now, none of this, everybody that grew up in Cabrini Green with me know, none of this stuff here. They studied building. They wouldn't build none of it. They wouldn't have all these fancy places when we was living here. Let's get a close-up since y'all don't, some of y'all might not believe me. You know what I mean? What it say, the Jesse White Community Center and Field House. You see, remember I told you 412? There it is. It was 412. This is Chicago Avenue. You see what it says? Let me see if I can get it good. Let me see if I can get it good for you to read it. There you go. That's 412. That's the Jesse White Community Center and Field House. You see, we had a field house when I was coming up here, but it was by the Huxton Playground. It's no more there. But I'm wondering, you see, you know, ain't nothing dark coming out of there. You see, they're running back in. They don't want to be seen because it ain't for us. They got something working there. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Look at all this here. Did you see how she ran back in there? Because they know that a lot of us don't go. He let some people go in there now. Some of our people go in there, but they ain't helping us. I don't care what nobody say. They helping certain people. See all these cars? This is Chicago Avenue. We used to catch the bus right there where the man standing there. Once upon a time, I got to keep it real, whites was afraid to walk through here, most of them. The only ones that I give credit was Mooney Bible Institute, which is way down the street there on this street here, Chicago Avenue, close by LaSalle. They wasn't afraid to come over here. They came in this same building here where Jesse White got this thing at, this building at, and they did all type of programs with us. You see, but this was going on, y'all. Stop killing each other. I'm not saying this on a prejudice level for anybody. If you don't want to speak up about it, I will. I don't care if I die tomorrow, but I'm gonna speak up about it. It's a shame. All this money can be built here, but they couldn't build it when the people was Cabrini Green was living there. They didn't care. They didn't care. They even built a new police department. But I just want everybody to see. You see here where they got this greenhouse at? We used to play basketball right there. Can't play that no more. Because most of the people ain't living here. Look what they named this thing. Chicago Lights Urban Farm. That's where we played basketball once upon a time. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up, because I know a lot of people don't even like to hear me talking, but I don't care. Look at going up, y'all. Look at him going up. Look here, a lot of this stuff, 20 years ago when I went down to Missouri to fight against prejudice, half of this stuff wasn't even up. But I know they're gonna probably send somebody down to try to shut me up down there in Missouri. But I just gotta keep it real, y'all. This building used to be with 412 West Chicago Avenue. Where that bus stop is at, that's Chicago Avenue. Let me give y'all I'm getting locked up down there for doing this here down south. But let me get this bus stop. I don't know if we can see it or not. Let me see. We can't hardly see it. But it's 412 West Chicago Avenue. And I just want everybody to just see where I grew up at once upon a time, what used to be called Cabrini Green, but no Cabrini Green no more, y'all. And if you don't be careful where you living at now, I took a tour of this city, and 9 out of 10 black neighborhoods that I went in, they have buildings that's tore down and they not rebuilding. But I'm keeping it real again. You ain't going in none of the white neighborhoods. They study building. If they tear something down, like if they get a chance to tear these down, people is fighting about them. But if they tear them down, once they tore down, what they gonna do is the same thing you see them doing right now. What you see them doing right now. Wake up, people. Wake up before it's too late. I'm educating my daughters. I'm educating my grandchildren. I'm not teaching them to be racist. I'm teaching them to be wise. I leave you as I came. Peace be still.